Gone are the days when people used to rob others with the threat of a knife or at a gunpoint. Today, it just happens at the click of a mouse. So, what more? People are actually using psychological tricks and playing with emotions of others to rob them of their finances. Statistics have shown that in the past few years, people have been looted for lakhs of rupees with such online emotional psychological tricks which the fraudsters are using. So today in Mind Wellness Everyday, we are going to discuss on this topic which connects you to the psychological tricks that fraudsters use, and they're playing with your emotions to rob you of your money online. So you can actually understand the tricks and prevent yourself from being a trap to these kind of psychological frauds. But before we proceed, if you are not a subscriber to this channel, please do subscribe, because ahead also we are going to discuss such interesting and important topics which connect you with different psychological aspects of your everyday life. So the first type of psychological trick is named as what is called as pig butchering, or an Indianized version of that name we can put it as bakre ko halal karna. This is a hybrid scam where the online scamsters are actually using the technique of khilao pilao or fir halal karo. That means they want to shower you with affection, with love messages, with romantic texts, and different such kind of friendly texts also, basically where they're going to gain the victim's trust. This trust is gained in such a way that the victim starts depending on them emotionally, and he becomes used to those messages, and you can say the connection that is established with the fraudster online. Now slowly, as the fraudster starts gaining the attention and the trust of that victim, he will start putting up with a scheme, which is a financial scheme which shows that you're going to get a lot of returns out of this scheme. It's kind of like a crypto fraud or such other types. This investment opportunity is shown to the victim that, okay, see, I care for you so much, so I want to bring up this scheme for your benefit. So it's like an emotional trap where the victim feels, oh yes, I can actually trust this person and I can give away my finances. So he starts investing on in that account which the fraudster has given him, which shows the name of the scheme and everything, and it looks like a legitimate account. Once the victim invests, his account reflect, and after a few days it starts showing in returns, like you can say an addition of return has happened in your account, and he starts feeling, yeah, this is a genuine thing. So again the fraudster starts putting in so next step is, now the fraudster asks for more money, more investment. So the victim starts investing more in that same account. The account name is different, but actually the money is going to the fraudster. Now suddenly one fine day the victim feels that, oh yes, I've built a lot of amount in my portfolio, and maybe now I don't have much money to invest and I want to withdraw that amount from the scheme, which is showing the basic capital investment plus the returns on it. So at this point of time, as soon as he says that I want to withdraw the amount, the fraudster vanishes. There is no connection, no account, no social media tracking. The only thing which the victim is left with is a financial hole in the pocket, and at the same time those lovey-dovey messages full of emotions and full of those heart emojis and romance texts. Now this kind of fraud, once this fraud happens, of course the victim is having the consequence of a financial loss, but at the same time what is more is the psychological devastation that he has to go through because of this fraud, because he cannot share these kind of messages with his friends and family because it will be quite embarrassing for him. And when he is not ready to share with friends and family, he is also not going to go to the cyber cell where he can actually lodge a complaint. So most of these fraudsters are never caught, and so they keep doing such frauds again and again, and people get trapped. The second type of fraud, what we can call it as, is the charity fraud. This is basically which rests on the principle that most of the human beings are having a basic kindness in them. They have that kind nature. So these fraudsters are manipulating the victim and taking advantage of his or her kindness. Have you ever seen those messages on the internet which say that, okay, my child, which is very small, 8 months old or 2 years old and requires a surgery, please contribute, give, donate as much as possible and you can save one life. There are many such other type of messages also. Of course, I'm not saying that all messages are from the fraud organizations. There could be genuine ones also, but the fraudsters are also using such techniques where an emotional kind of a scene is put forth in front of you, and of course the kind natured people may feel that, okay, what is the problem, I can just donate 1,000 or 2,000 rupees and nothing is going to be a problem to me. So they start donating, and slowly the fraudster collects the money from everyone and just vanishes. There is nothing which is actually going for any specific cause, which is what we have actually donated for. So if at all you come to know later that, okay, I had contributed to such a fund which actually did not go for any charity purpose, you are going to feel cheated, devastated, and maybe you will never ever trust anybody and give a donation ahead in life. So whenever you give money to such type of charity, please verify that organization. Try and find out the physical existence of such NGOs and or you can say people, and then only contribute. At the same time, it's best to give to some registered organization which is a known one. The third type of psychological trick is used under the name of the fraud, which is called as the fear fraud. Everybody as a human being has some amount of fear for something. Most of the times when a person panics, he takes a wrong decision, and then that is where the point where the fraudster is actually going to take the benefit of it. Maybe you have received a message stating that your electricity is going to be disconnected from 12 midnight today because you are unable to pay the bill. So if you have paid the bill, or if you wish to make the payment of the bill, please call on this particular number or click on this particular link. Or there could be such other message like stating that your debit or credit card is blocked, and if you want to start using it again, you will need to call this so and so officer. So such type of messages, most of them are fraudulent. So the psychological trick that they use behind this is nothing but fear. You fear that, immediately you read that message and you feel that panic within, that, oh my god, my electricity is going to be disconnected, so I should take some action. And maybe at least 60% of the people may click on that link, and once you click that link, it may steal your information. It may actually ask you to make a payment where the payment goes to an invalid account and that money is lost. So when you get such a message, stop, think, and then act. Fourth type of fraud which happens is because of greed, and we name it as the greed fraud, because people who have are greedy in nature will only get trapped in this. Many of you may have seen that movie which is Fir Hera Fairy. So in that they had shown 21 din mein paisa double. So what happened? The people got greedy and they said, okay, in 21 days my money is going to get doubled, so why not invest? And they actually invested everything whatever they had, and what was the end result was they were on streets. So remember, there is no shortcut to making money. No returns no such returns exist which seem to be, like you can say, doubling your money in a very short time period. Be more logical and think about it, and consult people who are experts in that field before you can take any such decision. Fifth type of fraud which I've lately been seeing around me is what is the job fraud, job scams you can say, where people are taking advantage, and the fraudsters are taking advantage of unemployment, and at the same time where people want remote work. That means they want work from home jobs, and so they are applying for online jobs. When they apply for an online jobs, the company ahead says, they promise that, okay, they go through their profile and they promise a job. But what happens is, before they actually grant the offer letter, or they are actually going ahead with the further process of the job, they ask you to make the payment for some training. So what you do is, you pay some XYZ amount to that organization and ask them to provide you with training so that you can continue with the online job. Now what happens is this training is not legitimate. It is something, the money which is going to them is actually going to a fraudulent company. They have not given you any kind of a job, nor are they going to give you any kind of training. So in such circumstances, what happens? Basically, the person who is applying for the job is actually just losing the money related to training. Now, most people have paid, like you can say 2000 or 1000 or maybe somewhere around that, or maybe a smaller amount. So what they do is, why do the headache of making or filing a complaint? And this is where again the scamsters are protected, because nobody wants to bother and go to complain for such a cyber issue. So here too people lose their money, and actually obviously when you feel cheated, you are definitely going to have emotional low. You will feel bad about that situation. So psychologically also you are going to get affected because of this. So emotions are something which the fraudsters use to their advantage. So what the fraudsters understand is that people are basically having some kind of emotions. These emotions, when triggered in a specific way, are going to make that person act in whatever method or action that is required by the fraudster. So to avoid being a victim of such kind of psychological tricks that the fraudsters use, what you have to do is use your common sense, be more vigilant, be more observant, wait, don't panic before you take any action. Very important is, don't share any personal data, information, photos, files. Don't send messages to people whom you don't know. Even if you send, be very professional and to the point. Don't share any personal data or information. So be very vigilant and careful when you're dealing with social media or such kind of applications, or even you're chatting with people online, or even you're answering some online calls. If at all you feel cheated or you get cheated in such a way, it is important to file a lodge a complaint, because if you don't lodge a complaint, the fraudster is going to escape and there will be no action taken, where again they are going to get the benefit of cheating another person just like you. Hope this discussion helps you to save your valuable finances by not getting tricked by these psychological frauds. So if you feel that this information is useful, please share it with your friends and family to save them also from such kind of tricks which the fraudsters use for digging on your finances. Hope to see you in the next video on Mind Wellness Everyday. Thank you.